Hi my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. At the moment, all of the focus in the fandom is on the Andor series, but in 2 weeks time when all is said and done, we can then look forward to the Bad Batch Season 2 on January the 4th. Excitement for the second season has been mounting, with teasers from producers as well as new character posters, and ever since that first trailer dropped at Star Wars Celebration, we've been anticipating the return of Clone Force 99. Now hopefully sometime between now and January, we are going to see some more TV spots, and maybe even a final trailer. But along with Andor, Star Wars fans really loved Tales of the Jedi, the 6-episode short series that focused on Count Dooku, Ahsoka, as well as the likes of Yaddle, Anakin and Bail Organa. Now just speaking for myself, I would say the show did justice to the prequels and the Clone Wars, and a big question many of us have now is, will there be a Season 2? There are plenty more Jedi out there during this time period which can be explored in depth, and not to mention survivors of Order 66, which have never been addressed in canon. And so this brings me on to the subject of today's video. While I do think there's going to be more Tales of the Jedi in the future, the Bad Batch Season 2 should take the opportunity to do some of the heavy lifting and show us the fates of more surviving Jedi after the Great Jedi Purge and at the start of the early Imperial era. Now we know for certain they are taking this route with at least one survivor, a Wookiee Padawan called Gungi. We see him in the Season 2 trailer with his lightsaber ignited. He's going to be a valuable asset to the Bad Batch because they could really use all the help they can get, not to mention a Force user with experience, even if he is still a Padawan. Now we are going back to Kashyyyk, and we even see a brief cameo of Tarful. But could this glimpse in the trailer be an indicator that Gungi isn't the only survivor to appear in the show? And could we come across other Force users who might even tie into other projects and even the upcoming Jedi Survivor video game? As I put forward in a previous theory video, Season 1 takes place only months after the events of Kamino. I think they said 5 or 6. Well, considering we're going to Kashyyyk, Jedi Master Luminara Unduli would still be there at this point. She wouldn't have been arrested just yet, but we might see that happen in Season 2, which would of course directly tie into the most gruesome scene from Star Wars Rebels. Now aside from her and Gungi, Season 1 gave us young Kanan Jarrus, and I really hope the second season expands our understanding of what it was like being a Jedi in hiding after the Purge. I hope we get some new perspectives, because we've seen the points of view of the likes of Obi-Wan, Yoda, Kanan, Cal Kestis, Ahsoka, Nari, Ferren Barr, Sarah Junda, Narkmed, and I could go on, but each perspective is unique, each story is different, no two survivors are the same, and neither are the paths they go down. Taking us to Kashyyyk to see Gungi will be a whole new experience all unto itself. And as I say, I hope it's the start of more stories of Jedi we didn't know survived, or we simply don't know what happened to them following Order 66. Now even if they don't make it to the end, I love when Star Wars expands the stories of Jedi who were seemingly once unimportant. For example, Jedi such as Oppa Rancisis are a huge question mark in canon, and so was Jedi Master Yaddle for many years, until Tales of the Jedi gave us her death at the hands of Dooku. Now with Master Rancisis, he only died in Legends on Saleucami. In canon, at the end of the Clone Wars, Oppa Rancisis was one of the few council members who survived. After the Inquisitor's hunt for Eeth Koth, Oppa was on a list of known survivors of the Purge, compiled by the Jedi Hunters, but because he hid himself so well, he was never found. Now while he was a background character in the prequels, he did make a few notable appearances in the Clone Wars animated series, and he's one of those characters that would be perfect for a second season of Tales, or maybe someone the Bad Batch comes across, especially if others like Gungi are set to appear, but we don't know where Oppa Rancisis went. Now there's a good reason to believe that Rancisis is high up the list of Jedi that Dave Filoni might want to bring back. Oppo served alongside Quinlan Vos, and Quinlan was believed to be dead before the Kenobi series confirmed that he not only survived, but helped to form the Path. Now the fact that Lucasfilm under Disney not only gave us more Quinlan, but also decided to ignore Oppo's Legends death is a good indicator they might do more with him in the future. But now think back to earlier when I said they might not last very long. This is the tragic reality of showing us Order 66 survivors. The majority of them, the vast majority, went on to die anyway by the time of the original trilogy, and a part of me is really scared that Gungi's gonna suffer too. The Kiner brothers did tease a darker second season, and some of those bleak moments might be filled with tragedy. Gungi debuted in the Clone Wars Season 5. After using patience to acquire his Kyber crystal, he constructed a lightsaber. Now the most obvious reason why Gungi might not survive the Bad Batch Season 2 is that not only is he a Jedi during the time time of the Empire, but also the fact that he's a Padawan. Even more skilled Jedi died at the hands of the Inquisitors during this time, so how is Gungi gonna fare? And another thing is the fact that he's got no canon appearances or mentions during the original trilogy era and tie-ins. However, there is the possibility that Gungi can survive. He has to do what Obi-Wan told Nari, abandon his lightsaber and the Jedi ways, don't use the Force and stay in hiding, but the trailer suggests he's not gonna do that. He could simply lie low, but the Galactic Empire could find him. Now, we have seen some Wookiee deaths, but they are somewhat rare in the Star Wars franchise, both due to their popularity and their extremely formidable strength and fighting skills. In the Legends timeline, which used to be the official Star Wars continuity, the most famous Wookiee death was that of Chewie himself. Legends era content needed the approval of George Lucas back then, and the creative team behind Star Wars The New Jedi Order was given permission to kill off Chewbacca. Although he did not propose the idea, it was R.A. Salvatore that gave Chewie a heroic demise in 1999's The New Jedi Order Vector Prime, which, as you would expect, garnered strong reactions from Star Wars fans. Now, when Disney bought the franchise and rendered the expanded universe as non-canon, Chewie survived and he appears in the sequel trilogy, but Chewie was originally going to die in Episode 9, but that was later cut. If Gungi dies in The Bad Batch Season 2, it could give us a Wookiee death that Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker shied away from. But let's be real, no one wants to see either of them die, but with Gungi, at least he's nowhere near as popular as Chewbacca. Now, I don't know if the Bad Batch team would have the strength to do it though. Would they really kill off a beloved Wookiee Padawan? You never know. If they do, it'd be tragic. But back to the original point of this video, I do want to see more of these Jedi survivors, and the game literally titled that, which serves as the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, is another great place to show us that, for Cal Kestis to find others out there who were once Jedi but went into hiding, or maybe even took other paths. But let me know in the comments down below which one Jedi survivor you want to see the most in a Star Wars project. It doesn't have to be Tales of the Jedi, it doesn't even have to be The Bad Batch Season 2. Now, speaking of The Bad Batch, guys, ever since Season 1, fans have been aching to know if Ahsoka's going to appear in the series. And given her most recent appearance in Tales of the Jedi, is she going to appear? Well, prior to Season 1, there were rumours. Well, it appears as though for Season 2 at least, that's not the case. Ashley Eckstein has finally confirmed she has not worked on The Bad Batch at all, and she didn't record anything for it. But she does say she hopes Dave Filoni can make that happen in the future. But for now, my dear friends, that doesn't look to be the case, so don't expect Ahsoka to appear in Season 2. Now, I was going to end the video here, but I remembered something last minute. Since we're on the subject of Wookiees and tragedy, there is another sad Wookiee story that is canon, a quite recent one. There was an adorable Wookiee introduced in the early issues of Star Wars Hyperspace Stories. Her name is Vivian, and she's the daughter of a Wookiee senator called Yorua. We meet her when Padme travels to the Outer Rim moon of Stagek for a diplomatic meeting, but there's a trap. Separatists have taken over, and Vivian is sent to hide. Padme informs the Jedi Council, and Obi-Wan with Anakin travel there. When they arrive, they discover Vivian hiding in the bushes, as per her father's instructions. She's very afraid, but they take her with them. They're then ambushed and arrested by battle droids and taken aboard Grievous's ship. Grievous takes Vivian and her father into custody. Obi-Wan is luckily able to save Vivian, but not her father, who's killed dramatically by Grievous before our heroes escape. Now Vivian is left heartbroken and is sent back to her family on Kashyyyk so she can be around loved ones to grieve. That is such a dark comic, and as you see, my dear friends, they're not afraid of giving us tragic Wookiee stories, so let's see what happens with Gungi. But now guys, I turn it over to you. Let me know your thoughts of everything we spoke about in the comments down below. What characters do you want to see appear in Bad Batch? And as I said, which survivors? If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you always.